Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, Miss.
Answer your attendance. Afla,
Present, Miss.
Ajmina, Amaya,
Present, Miss.
Atulya, Drishya,
Present, Miss.
Jyotish, Karthik,
Present, Miss.
Adrian,
Present, Miss.
Keith,
Present, Miss.
Rach,
Present, Miss.
Rangeet,
Present, Miss.
Vaishna, Vaishnav, Anjali, Shruti.
Present, Miss.
Ajmina is there.
Present, Miss.
Atulya, Atulya is there. Jyotish, Vaishnav and Anjali. Okay. How was your exam? How was your exams? Ajmina, Ajmina is there.
Answer.
Yeah, how was your exam?
കുഴപ്പമില്ല.
കുഴപ്പമില്ല. I have corrected your paper. I have not satisfied with your performance in this exam. A lot of mistakes you have done it. And question അനുസരിച്ചല്ല ആൻസർ എഴുതിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. Many of you, I have been discussing the question paper in the next hour. Yes. Anjali is present, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, I will be just going with that question paper in the next hour. I'm having one more hour in the third hour, so I'll be just going with that question paper. Okay, so we will start with where we have stopped. Last class, we were just discussing about the transport layer. What are its important services or the functions of the transport layer? You have gone through with the two main protocols of the transport layer. One is the TCP and another one is UDP. Also, you have just gone with the congestion control and the quality of service methods. Congestion, it is happening when the load on the network, if it is greater than the capacity of the network. And you are making use of, mainly it is happening due to the queues in the routers and switches. And I have also told about the congestion control mechanisms. Now, congestion control is nothing but you are either preventing it before it happens or removing it after it had happened. So you can have two different types of classification. One is open loop congestion control method, where you are preventing your congestion, and the other one is the closed loop congestion control method, where you are removing it once it has happened. Okay, and also I have just told you about the various congestion control mechanism, that is open loop policies as well as the closed loop methods. You have got various policies to prevent congestion. One is retransmission policy, window policy, acknowledgement policy, discarding policy, and admission policy. And closed loop also, you have just got back pressure, chalk packet, implicit signaling, and explicit signaling, right? And I have just told you what are all these methods. Then later we have gone with the quality of service. Quality of service is nothing but you are making an environment, you are making an appropriate environment such that the data flow is proper. Or quality of service can be defined as something a flow seeks to attain. Now you have got the flow characteristics, that is if your data flow, if you can tell it as a successful one, if it is depending upon few characteristics. One is reliability, delay, jitter, and bandwidth. And Later, I have just told you about the techniques to improve the quality of service. Here only we have stopped in the last class. You have got 4 common methods to improve this quality of service. In that, the first one, what we have seen is the traffic shaping. Traffic shaping, you have got 2 different types of algorithms. One is the leaky bucket algorithm, and another one is the token bucket algorithm. So I have just stopped it there, the token bucket as well as the leaky bucket. Leaky bucket, you have got some disadvantages, and that is overcome in your token bucket algorithm. Okay, hope you remember at least something what I have taught you in the last week. Right? Now, today we will be just moving with one method called one technique to improve quality of service. That is called it as the scheduling method. Scheduling technique, or what are the scheduling techniques used to improve this quality of service. So you can just see, I have told you, usually the congestion, I mean, whenever you are having a packet from different flow, what it is happening is you will be having a router or a switch, and they will be processing that packets, right? Now, if you have a good scheduling technique, now what will happen? You can improve your quality of service. Now, the first method, what you're going to see is called it as the FIFO queue. FIFO queue. FIFO means first in, first out queue. So first in, first out queue. Here what is happening is the packet, they will be waiting in a buffer, or you can call it as a FIFO queue. And once the router is ready to process that packet, the packets will be taken from the queue or the buffer, right? Now, as per the diagram, the packets are arriving. Now it will be checking whether the queue is full or not. If it is full, you will be discarding the packet. If no, the packets will be added into the queue. They will be added to the queue. Okay, and they will be added to the front of the queue such that the processor can process it. Now, once the processor, I mean, if the packet is added in front, the processor will process the packet and it will be sending to the departure. Now, suppose if the average arrival rate, if it is greater than if it is greater than the average processing rate, now what happens in this case? Your arrival rate, if it is greater than or higher than the processing rate, now what happens? This queue will get filled up and the new packets which are arriving will get discarded. Okay, so that is the principle of this FIFO queue. So what is happening is, I have told you, first in, first out, you will be router or switches, they will be processing the packet depending upon the packets in the queue. Now they will check whether it is full or not. If it is full, they will discard it. If it is not, the processor will take it from first in, first out basis and it will be taken to the departure. Right? So this is the first method to improve the quality of service. Now the second method is called it as the priority queuing. Priority queuing. Now what is here done here? It is here the packets are assigned to a priority class. You will be having, now each priority class you will have its own queue. Now suppose this is your higher priority queue and this is your, sorry, okay, so you will have a higher priority queue here and as well as you have a lower priority queue, right? So the packets are assigned to a priority class here. Now you will be having 2 different types of queue based on the priority, higher priority queue as well as the lower priority queue. Now the packets in the higher priority queue, what the processor will do, or a switch type is there, and they will process the packet based on the priority. And so the higher priority packets will be processed first. So the packet in the lowest priority queue, they are processed last. Now, when you are comparing this priority queuing method with that of the FIFO queuing method, this is better. This will provide better quality of service. Now, what is the reason for that is if you have a higher priority traffic, such as if you have a multimedia, whether it is coming, now what happens? It can reach the destination without delay, without much delay, or you can tell with less delay. Right? So that is the importance of this priority queuing scheduling method. So based on the priority, it will be processed and it will be reaching the destination. But you have a drawback here, and that is called it as starvation. The drawback is called it as starvation. Now, starvation means if low priority queue here, when you are considering the lower priority queue, it is never getting a chance to get processed. Until and unless the higher priority queue is empty, you are not getting a chance to process this lower priority queue. And that drawback, you can call it as starvation. Understanding what is priority queuing, the packets will be arrived, it will be put it into the classifier, it will check whether the packet belongs to a higher priority class or a lower priority class. So they will be filling the queue. Now based on the switch will be taking the higher priority packets initially, and the switch turns to the other queue when the current one is empty. Now, suppose if the current one is not empty, you are not getting a chance to process the lower priority queue packets, right? So that is the drawback, and you can call it as starvation. Understanding what is FIFO queue and priority queuing? Yes or no? Understanding or not?
Miss, please tell one more.
Once more. Okay. So second method of scheduling method is called it as priority queuing. Priority queuing means I am just giving a priority. Like I have two queues here. One queue is based on the higher priority and the other one is based on the lower priority. So depending upon you have, once the packet is arriving, you will be putting it in the classifier. You will identify it whether it is a higher priority packet or a lower priority packet. So once it is done, it will be put into the respective queues. Now you will have a switch. So this high priority queue, they are having the preference to process. So the switch will be selecting the packets from the higher priority queue initially. So uh, like always, if this queue is getting filled, now you are not getting a chance to process this lower priority queue packets. And that is the drawback here, right? And that is called it as starvation. Now, higher priority queue means this, and when you are comparing this priority queuing with that of FIFO queue, you are, suppose some multimedia traffic is coming, now you are getting a chance to process it. You will put it in the higher priority queue and you will be processing it without much delay. So in that case, it is advantage. But lower priority packets, if it is considered, this is a disadvantage. Okay, and that disadvantage you can call it as starvation. Right? Understood? Priority
Yes.
queuing. Right. Now the third one is called it as weighted fair queuing. Weighted fair queuing means the queues are weighted based on the priority of the queue. The meaning is you are specifying some weights for each queue. Now suppose if you have some packets, you will be putting it into the classifier. So initially you assume this weight of the packet that is given for the first queue is it equal to 3, and the second queue will be equal to 2, and the third queue will be equal to 1. Now you will be having many packets like this coming from the classifier. Now once it is classified, and the queue will be getting it filled for all the rows, like this row Q1, Q2, and Q3. Now what you have a rotary switch here. Now what this switch will do, they will be like the switch selects. How it will be selecting us, it is based upon the weight. If you're given the weight 3, 2, and 1, what is happening is it will select, the switch will select 3 packets initially from the Q1, first queue, and 2 packets from the second queue, and 1 packet from the third queue. And this process is repeated. Okay, so that starvation drawback is eliminated here. Why? Because all the packets are getting processed here, right? Depending upon the weightage. If it is 3, 2, 1, this is the higher priority. You will be processing it. Then you will come to this queue. Then you will come to this queue. So all the queues, they are getting a chance to get processed. Okay. And once it is done, the cycle is repeating. Again, 3 packets will be taken from this, 2 packets will be taken from this, and 1 packet will be taken from this. So what you're doing is you are assigning some weights to each queue. Now, once a packet is arriving, it will be putting it into a classifier. It will check whether the queue is full or not. If not, it will enter the queue and gets added. So the packets will be added in the queue. Now, a rotary switch, a rotating switch is there, and depending on the weights of the queue, the packets will get selected, right? And they will be processed, right? So the starvation process, it is not there. Okay, so these are the different types of scheduling mechanisms in order to improve the quality of service. Okay, now this, then 2 more methods I have told you. One is called it as the admission control and resource reservation. Now this already we have just gone through what is resource reservation. Resource reservation means if you want to, for a data flow, you need some resources such as bandwidth, buffer, CPU time, etc. So if these resources, if they are reserved beforehand, you can tell that the quality of service can be improved. Okay, so that is the meaning of resource reservation. So whatever resources is required for a particular flow, if they are reserving it priorly, then the quality of service can be improved, right? So that is about this resource reservation. Now, the fourth one is called it as the admission control. Admission control also we have seen in the last class. Now, what is this is, it is some mechanism. That is, I have told you, you will have a router or a switch, right? You will have a router or a switch, sorry, router or a switch. And now what these will do is they will decide whether to accept or reject a flow. And that is based on some predefined parameters called the flow specification. We have seen what are the flow specifications. So if a router is processing, before a router is processing the packets, now what it will do, it will check the flow specification. Flow specifications will be checked, and if they are able to handle that new flow, they will be accepting the new packet. They will be checking whether the capacity is they can accommodate that new packets, or if they are having any previous commitments, whether it is finished, whether they can accept the new packet. So all these things they will be deciding by the router and switches, and based on that they have the facility to either accept the packet or reject the packet. So that is called it as the admission control. Okay, so that is the fourth method. So admission control, routers or switches, they will accept or reject a flow based on some predefined parameters. So before processing, before the packets gets processed, they will check some predefined, some parameters of the flow specification to check whether they can accept the new packet, whether they can process the new packet, whether the commitments that is related with the older one is finished or not. So based on that, they will be allowing it. And that is called it as the admission control, right? Understood what are the techniques that are used to improve quality of service? Very, very important. Scheduling, traffic shaping, admission control, and resource reservation. Understood?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Can one can give the summary of what I have told in today's class? Who will be giving? Yes. Amaya. Amaya, you can just summarize. Vaishnav is there. Vaishnav, Jyotish,
Miss Aligned.
Atulya. Atulya is not there and Jyotish is not there. Yeah, summarize. What are the different types of scheduling methods and what is the meaning of admission control and resource reservation?
First, FIFO, first in, first out.
Yeah,
In that, when the queue is full, there aren't data can be discarded.
yeah,
Next one is priority queuing. When the data are arrived in the classifier, it will separate depending upon the priority,
okay.
and the processor switch will takes the higher priority one.
Now you are not getting a chance to process the lower priority packets. So that process drawback is called it as what?
Starvation.
Okay. And that is overcome in the third method. And that is the better scheduling method, right? And what is that?
Wait fair queuing.
Weighted fair queuing.
And
Now
that
what's happening here?
there will be wait for the queue, and the rotor will takes the
Rotating switch. It will be just taking the queue. It will be considering the number of packets that is present in the
depending on
queue
the
based on the weights, right? So all the queues, they are having a chance to get processed, right? So that starvation process is eliminated there, right? Now, the other two methods are the admission control and resource reservation, right? So these were the things that you have to study it in the transport layer. I have just started with the protocols, then the congestion control methods and the quality of service. Now the next topic is application layer. Now before going with that application layer, I have told you, I have just corrected your papers and I have not satisfied with your performance. All majority are border pass only. Few have done a lot of mistakes in that, and especially the Dijkstra's algorithm. So simply writing it in a graph, I mean, just in a paper, water, infinity, zero, vals and values, you are not going to get any marks. Now, so all of you, you have to just, I will just tell after 5 minutes, I will just dictate how you have to do that problem. So majority of you have made it mistake that thing. Now, first of all, when you are writing a question, you have to just write the steps. What is happening in Dijkstra's algorithm, what you are doing in each process. See, we can calculate in an easier manner. That method only I have taught you, but what is done that you have to write it in a steps, and then only you are able to solve that. Because a lot of marks are there, so without simply writing some values, it will be very difficult for an evaluator to evaluate. He does not know what, or he or she does not know what you are trying to do it. But if the steps are there correctly and then working out the problem, you will be able to get marks. So a lot of mistakes you have done based on that. So what I have decided is, I'm not going to give module 5 assignment as a written assignment. So every hour, 10 minutes, you are going to present some topic. Present in the sense, I'll be giving you some university questions. Maximum 2 slides or 3 slides. The 3 slides, with that, what are the things that you have to write for a particular question that you have to just answer it. Right? So I will be just categorizing the topics. I'll be giving some questions. So that questions, see, ഇത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടിയാണ് പറയുന്നത്. നിങ്ങൾ ആ ടോപ്പിക് തറവാകണം. See, majority, I don't know how you people have written the same ditto sentence everybody has written. Either you have referred the PPT or you have referred the notes and written it. That is clearly seen from the paper. See, I cannot monitor you people when you are writing the examination. That is the drawback of this type of online classes. So what I need is, I need to ensure that you are studying the topics in a perfect manner. See, 4 units are over. Don't know how the whole module is there. The university is not prescribed anything. Anyway, we will be completing the modules. 30 minutes I'll be taking the class, and 10 minutes last every from tomorrow onwards. I will be just giving some questions. You are going to present it, so that everybody, you share the slides to everybody. So if anybody, if the question is asked, you should be able to write that answer. Okay, so what I need to do is we will start with the 5th module. The topic is congestion control and quality of service. I'll be giving you some questions. You have, all of you have to write it down. Then I will be allotting 2 members to present that question answers, and you can prepare it. I don't want any number of slides or not. I need what you are going to write it in the paper. Right? Is it okay for you? And that is the assignment for you for the 5th module. Simply writing, copying it and writing, there is no use. I have come to know that. So I need you people to study it. So in a thing, I'm just starting the revision from tomorrow. See, revision classes, we have kept it, but the time is not sufficient for a theory subject like computer communication, because we are not going to finish it, the whole modules. In a hurry-burry, we will be able to do that. So I don't want that. I want you people to get thorough with each and every topic. So if you are cooperating with me beautifully, you can answer, you will be able to answer the questions and you can score good marks. Don't think that this is a burden for you. That is for you people. I'm taking extra measures and giving you. Say, I can lamely tell that, okay, you study how you want, but that is not the case, right? By correcting the papers, I came to know that. Okay, so you are just writing something. I will be just telling about the paper correction later. Okay, so what I need all of you is take your notebook. All of you, please take your notebook. Taken.
Yes.
Yes. Take the heading as congestion and congestion control. Take the heading as congestion and congestion control. Everybody, Neeraj, writing. Neeraj. Rangeet.
Yes.
Ah, take the notebook and start writing the heading as congestion and congestion control. Now, take the first question. These are the number of questions, sample of questions that can come under that topic. Take down the first question. Define congestion. Define congestion. What are the common causes of congestion? Define congestion. What are the common causes of congestion? Finished? What are the common causes of congestion? Finish writing?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Take the second question. Explain about open loop and closed loop. Explain about open loop and closed loop congestion control mechanisms. Explain about open loop and closed loop congestion control mechanisms. Finished? Vaishna, writing. Okay. Now the third
Yes,
question.
Miss.
Explain the various congestion control mechanisms. Explain the various congestion control mechanism. To prevent congestion to prevent congestion before it happens. To prevent congestion before it happens. I repeat, explain the various congestion control mechanism to prevent congestion before it happens. Take the next question. Explain the various congestion control mechanisms. Explain the various congestion control mechanisms to alleviate congestion. Alleviate meaning removing. To alleviate congestion after it happens. After it happens. Finish writing. Finished?
Yes.
Yes. Take the next question. Explain congestion control measures. Explain congestion control measures used in the transport layer. Explain congestion control measures used in the transport layer. Next question. List out the congestion control categories. List out the congestion control categories. The last question. Name the policies. Name the policies that can prevent congestion. Name the policies that can prevent congestion. Right? So these are the university questions that are asked under the topic congestion and congestion control. So you have written few questions. Now what I need is I'm just deputing 2 students. One has to define congestion. The first question, Kavya can do that. You just inaugurate the session tomorrow, right? So define congestion. What are the common causes of congestion? That one. And what are the open loop congestion control? See, different methods together they are asked in one question, both open loop as well as closed loop. Open loop alone, it has been asked in one question. Closed loop, it has been asked. See, alleviate congestion is nothing but closed loop. About the closed loop congestion control mechanism, you have to answer. Alleviate in the sense removing. Removing is nothing but the closed loop congestion control mechanisms. Right? Now, policies that are used to prevent congestion is nothing but the open loop congestion control methods. The 2 main things what you have to study is open loop and closed loop. So that is that type of question, that 2 different methods that are being asked in different ways. That is the only thing. So Kavya has to just define it, write the question in the slide, get the answer for that, just distribute it to others, explain it and just distribute. I have to just rotate your slides to all of you. All the 15 should get that slides and you study based on that. Okay. And if you want to require any help from me, you can just call me and ask how to prepare the slides. What are the points that are to be included in the slides? You can ask me at any time. Okay. Don't get in a tension in that way and all. എന്തൊക്കെ ആഡ് ചെയ്യണം എന്നുള്ളത് ചോദിച്ചാൽ മതി, that I'll be just doing it. I will be telling it. Now, Kavya, open loop congestion control mechanism, you have to just explain the policies. Like beautifully, you have to, how you are writing it in an answer sheet, the same method, you have to just present it in the slide. Okay. Now, then AFLA, the second method, that is closed loop congestion control mechanisms. AFLA has to answer that thing. Okay. So you can finish it 2 or 3 slides, the whole thing. Is it okay? Will you be able to do it?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. See, why I'm doing is from now onwards, if you start studying, you can score good marks. I'm sure of that. But in the last minute, if you're just studying, everything will get confused. So just we will start it from here. Now, once we complete it, we will just go back to the third module and the fourth module daily. Now, from tomorrow onwards, daily, I'll be just prescribing some question. Just prepare it for 10 to 15 minutes. You spend it for computer communication, prepare the slides and just present it. Okay, so that everybody can understand the concept once again, and you will be knowing how to write an answer based on the question. Okay, yes or no? Will everybody cooperate with this? That's the first thing that I want to ask you people. Yes or no?
Yes,
No.
Miss.
Yes. What about boys? Neeraj, Nachiketas, Rangeet, then Vaishnav. What is your response?
Okay.
Okay, right. So that is based on the congestion control. Now tomorrow I'll be having one class, most probably. Atulya madam is on leave, so I'll be handling her class. And so just prepare it. So Afla and Kavya, you have to just spend time for today for answering these questions, right? Now the next topic, now 4 minutes is there. I can't start a new topic. So what I'll do, I'll just give the questions based on the quality of service also. Take down the heading as quality of service. Take down the heading as quality of service. Now just take the question. With the help of diagrams, with the help of diagrams, explain, with the help of diagrams, explain the various techniques, explain the various techniques to improve the quality of service in a network. With the help of diagrams, explain the various techniques to improve the quality of service in a network. That is the main question that can be asked based on quality of service, or split wise also you can ask. Just take that question. What is traffic shaping? What is traffic shaping? Explain two methods. Explain two methods to shape traffic. Explain two methods to shape traffic. What is traffic shaping? Explain two methods to shape traffic. Now, similar question, what can be asked is, with the help of diagrams, with the help of diagrams, explain the various, with the help of diagrams, explain the various scheduling methods, various scheduling methods to improve the quality of service in a network. Explain with the help of diagrams, explain the various scheduling methods to improve the quality of service in a network. Right? So that are the two different types of questions that are asked in the university based on under the quality of service topic. Okay, so that who will be just explaining that, I'll be telling it in the next hour. So not in a hurry burry, you take your own time, daily 10 minutes only you have to just do it. Okay, so if you have any difficulty in that, we will just rotate the persons. Okay, so I think the other staff has joined. Okay, we will be meeting in the third hour. So thank you for now.